Well met, everyone. I am Rich the Lich. Today, this is going to be a fun fights video. I wanted to throw down with the Wacom tablet. I haven't done that in a little bit, so I figured why not draw some stuff and make us a little bit of an encounter. Make something a little more interesting. You know the routine by now. D&D Dice Roller. Let's find this website here. We will open up D&D Beyond and randomly decide what sort of monster we will be dealing with today. So, we have 70 pages of monsters. I'm going to use the random dice roller. We're going to roll D100, percentile, page 9. Very good. I can navigate to that pretty quickly. And there he is, page 9. We should have 20 creatures on this page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at the bone claw. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. As I said, there are 20. So I will now roll a d20 right here. And the result is 16. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, let's just go from the bottom. Number 20, number 19, number 18, number 17, number 16. Ooh, a little Jurassic Park. Brontosaurus. Very cool. Simple. Gargantuan beast. The thing we should all know, right? So, what I'm going to do first is print screen this guy. And I will bring this thing over. We're going to paste. We'll bring him over here. And I'm bringing this into the mix. We'll get rid of that. We'll bring this up here somewhere. This is on the screen because this is intended to have all my notes, all my details, whatever environment or map or whatever area this encounter is going to take place. And it's something I can print out and bring to my table. So let me do this first. This is just noodling and detailing. Not necessary at all, for the sake of creating a compelling, interesting, more unique, exciting, and more fun combat with whatever the monster is, but it keeps me creative I just like the aesthetic of having that stroke edge around it. So, let's see. Well, it's a dinosaur, so I'm going to create a couple of bullet points real quick. New layer, and bullet point 1, we're going to say Jurassic Park. That was the very first thing that came to mind, and that's where I want to stay. I want to stay free in my head and not oversaturate with too many different things and rhyme and reason. Just whatever's there and allow that freedom to kind of create something for me. So, Jurassic Park. Let's do 5 bullet points today. What else do I think of when I think of the Brontosaurus? Just massive size. Massive size. I don't know why. Like I said just a moment ago, I'm thinking of the Tarrasque. I have no idea why. I think just seeing Gargantuan Beast, it kind of made me think of that for whatever reason. Some of these bullet points may not relate to anything that I'm going to do in this video, but I just want to get those ideas on paper so that I don't then start trying to put some rhyme and reason to some of these things while leaving out some possible ideas that might have been lingering in my head, because now I've switched over from creative mode into analytical mode, right? So we've got Jurassic Park, we have massive size, we have a Tarrasque, we have lots of hit points. So I'm going to think of like a meat shield. Okay? And then let's see if there's anything that looks good here. He's got a stomp attack. Ooh, I like that. And then he has a big tail. He's unaligned, so I need to figure out a way to make him evil. I'm not going to really put that as a bullet point, so I'll put it as like a little thing here. Make him evil. Unless you're running an evil campaign, things like this just help to move the situation, the fight forward, because by him being something bad, immediately the players want to have to conquer this obstacle. They don't have to... I don't want any of these fun fights to be any sort of parlay or anything like that. The end goal of all these things is to make a fight, some encounter, more exciting, more intriguing, more interesting, and more fun, but the end result is always just going to simply be you kill them before they kill you. So there has to be conflict here, actual violent conflict. So we have Okay, we have another bullet point. You know what? Let's just leave it. That's good enough. I think there's enough to run with here. So, what am I thinking of? What am I thinking? Okay, Jurassic Park, right? I'm going to create a park. Very simple. So, let's do a little more accuracy here for today. And I'm going to just do this guy. We'll go like that. We're going to put this on a new layer. Edit and stroke. We'll make it maybe 3 pixels. Good enough. So, here's the very specific outline to it all. It's kind of the gate, you know, like in Jurassic Park, where you had the electric fence, if you will. And I can even start to do that. There is this sort of pool of water. Let's just do it this way. Blue. So that way I don't have to detail out too much more than that. I can just leave it as a big blue blob, and it immediately reads as something water or wet. And we'll go back to black. So there's this pool of water, and above it is this I think let's go with sort of a lightning orb of some sort. Okay, there's this weird, you know what I'm thinking of is this thing, and then you have these almost like Saturn, right? But you have these weird, I don't know what they are, not concentric, but there's these rings from the movie Contact with Jodie Foster, you know, and there's just this weird spinning contraption floating above. Okay, there's this weird sort of thing going on here, right? Whatever. And there's these pillars, maybe these large bases, and then you have this base here, and then you have another one here. Let me fix this. So you have these pillars kind of in 4 different points. And then there's this big chain. I already did that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's this sort of weird coil, Tesla coil type of weird contraption thing, like one of those contraptions from that magician movie called The Magician or The Prestige or something like this, either with, I think it was Edward Norton or maybe Hugh Jackman, right? But there's just this weird spinning whatever, and then that is creating these lightning shards. It's got to be coming from this, actually. There we go, whatever. Okay. So you've got this weird lightning. It almost looks like a snow globe looking thing, right? Like an actual, you know that one the whatever it's called, the lightning ball that you put your hand on it and all the lightning rushes towards it. That's what this looks like to me. So you've got these entrances, they're locked off, or exits, if you will. And then somewhere in here is the Brontosaurus. He's wandering around in this thing. So he paths video game style and walks around in it. And then the PCs are coming in from this direction, right here, right? Any of the doors, but we'll just say for this one, for the sake of video. They make their way in. And something's going on with this lightning thing, right? So whatever, they bypass it and they get inside. And now the PCs are in here. Okay, so there they go. They came in through this door, right? And this Brontosaurus is pretty normal, right? They can almost, just as it happened in Jurassic Park, right, where it indicated that the T-Rex was bad and the Velociraptors were bad, but yet you were able to kind of put your hand against the large body. I want to give the PCs a chance to have sort of an awestruck moment. I don't know if that's the right word, awe-inspiring, I guess, of larger than life, literally, and overwhelming just straight up coolness. You know, you can make this cool just by, it's a freaking massive dinosaur. You can make it cool by that automatically. So I want to give the Brontosaurus a chance to be good first and neutral, you know, or just not hostile at all. And he allows them into his cage. And as he moves around, the PCs can see him and they can pet him and they can, you know what I mean? There's no main interaction other than that. There's nothing they can't befriend him and they can't really talk to him or anything like that. His intelligence is a 2. At the end of the day, he's still a dinosaur, so there's not much they can do with that. But what happens is, obviously, this is a major point of interest, this whole Tesla coil thing. What's going on with that? So there's this constant crackling energy that's moving off of this center swirling thing. And then what'll happen is eventually, as soon as they walk in, this locks. Now, if the PCs have Misty Steps and Dimension Doors and Flight, you need to make some adjustments and maybe put them in a dome, the Dalaran bubble from World of Warcraft, right? You need to, or in a globe. Don't have them be able to leave this. If they don't, then you don't have to worry about that. But you also have this thing now, as soon as they arrive, so when entering, walls are lightning. Trapped. All right? So as soon as they enter, so everything looks good. And maybe it is a Jurassic Park feel. They're going to this place to investigate some ancient, you know, there's this one island, the Isle of Giants from World of Warcraft or something. And there's this one place, this one area, this jungle where history or time has forgotten it. And there's prehistoric monsters here, and there's a chance that they can see this dinosaur. And they hear that he's supposed to be good and whatnot, but they're supposed to study it for maybe a wizard that's going to give them some sort of a special staff or magical robes as a reward, as long as they get some samples from this area, right? This site. And everything starts off normal and relatively neutral, if not good. It's a normal Brontosaurus, gargantuan Brontosaurus, but they get in to his habitat, and he's relatively doesn't pay a lot of attention to them, you know, but they get what they need to get. And then all of a sudden, as soon as they get in, the doors lock, and then boom, the walls become lightning. So you have now trapped the group. So now there goes part 1 is get out. Part 2, Bronto goes nuts. These streaks of lightning start hitting him. As big as he is, it's kind of like that constant, you know, poking, right? The splinter to him. It's just this nagging, constant shock. Imagine if that was happening to you, right? And as subtle as it is, eventually that shit's going to get annoying. So there's this constant shock, just boom, 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 and it's hitting him round after round. You're not in initiative timing yet. You're not in combat timing yet. But he starts getting struck over and over again. And eventually, this dude goes bananas. He's red now. He's hostile. And that is sort of the interesting part, right? Is we talked about massive size. We talked about lots of hit points, meat shield. Maybe we just multiply this by 12. Okay? So 121 times 12. I haven't done old school math in a while. That's 2, that's 4, that's 2. Right? 1, 2, 1. 1452, something like this. Let's do a quick check. Did it right. So this dude has 1,452 hit points. It basically means you're not killing him. He is going to just stomp the group to death, tail them to death. I know that he's, whatever CR5. We've obviously skewed him. He's now a CR 15 or 20 because so many hit points. Nothing else. He's still dealing, which is a lot, 5d8 plus 5. He's still dealing the same amount of damage. He still has the same saving throws, so he's not invulnerable. He just has a ton of hit points, which is what I thought of in the beginning. I really like that. And this massive size. He's almost in this heightened, modified, mutated state because of the lightning, right? So what happens is this encounter has now turned into something where the PCs need to figure out how to get out and how to turn off the orb thing. Okay, if they don't figure out how to disable that contraption, whatever, this guy's just going to keep killing them, and they're just, it's attrition at that point. He's got too many hit points. They're not going to take him out. Right? He's dealing too much damage, and he's just absorbing too much of their, maybe the PCs for a group, you want to plan it where they can output like 40 to 70 damage a round or something. There's no way they're going to last 12, 13, 14 rounds. There's no way it's going to happen. He's going to kill them before that. But if they can turn off that lightning, not only does it become the first part of them disabling the walls, so they can actually, the lightning not just blocks the walls, it also it goes over the doors as well. So not only does it sort of open up the first stage of their exit point, but it stops electrocuting the Brontosaurus. So that way he's no longer hostile. So this encounter, let's wrap it up here. This was go in, research, and study. Turned into step 2. That's 1. 2, trapped. 3, the impossible Brontosaurus. 4, disable orb. 5, calm Bronto plus get out, right? Maybe give them the reward so that they're eager to get out. Like whatever they went in to research and study, they got that. But then they quickly realized that as this orb turned on suddenly and it started electrocuting the walls and all that other stuff, or the bubble, they realized we're trapped now. Okay, and then it started electrocuting the Bronto and he went nuts, and now it's changed the encounter. So that's the bulk of it. Is I just thought Jurassic Park, so I put them inside the bubble. I put them inside some sort of a park. You go into his habitat for a different reason. This is not an initially hostile encounter, right? And then he's massive size and lots of hit points. So how do we ride that wave and make this something interesting based on that? There you go. I didn't use the Tarrasque. I had said that in the very beginning. It was in my mind, but I'm not going to figure out anywhere to use that, and it's okay. You don't have to. But it's now turned into this whole thing of now they're trapped. The environment's an issue. I'm not going to try and wrangle in this video what exactly happens with the trap. Is it just something that's just a skill challenge? Is it something that the rogue can disable? Do they need to climb up the pillar to get to the top of this? Do they need to do something with those 4 pillars? Do they need to put some sort of a shield or like a block? Like video game, I think I did a puzzle in a dungeon in like Skyrim or something like this, right? Where they need to break the streams, basically. Put something in front of it so that the lightning doesn't directly hit it, which would then change into this, it'll change the pattern and the rhythm. So maybe what that does is that turns off an area that the PCs can now use or start messing with to try and escape. Or maybe the area that they blocked and broke the stream is the area that's directly hitting the Brontosaurus, so that he's not killing them now. Whatever it may be, you can wrangle that in for yourself. But that's the overall idea. Just came from Brontosaurus, Jurassic Park, lots of hit points, and the whole lightning thing that contained the T-Rex and whatnot from the movie. So there you have it. That's it. It's kind of a jumble there, but that's what Fun Fights is about, especially when you do it randomly, as I have. So thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.